Hello and welcome to Film Inquiry Roundtable number 17. We've been doing this for almost a year. Thank you very much for continuing to watch us talk about movies. So we're here today to talk about our favorite siblings in film, maybe TV. I don't know if anyone's thought about that, but in general, favorite siblings. So welcome. My name is Kristy Strouse. I'm editor-in-chief of Inquiry, and you can say hello to my lovely writers and editors and everyone here. So hi, Jake.
Hi, I'm Jake Tropila, writer, editor, trivia master at Film Inquiry. Excited to be back with another roundtable with you fine people. Throw it over to Emily.
I'm Emily Wheeler. I am also a writer at Film Inquiry, and I am a trivia failure by reputation.
We've all been there.
And hello, I'm Bailey Joe. I'm an editor with Film Inquiry, and I'm happy to be here. As always.
One of Jake's famous lines, whoever's doing poorly in trivia, we're happy to have you.
Happy to have you all. Whatever happens, we're happy to have you all. But I'm curious to see how trivia goes, because I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really phoned in these questions, but I think it'll be entertaining at the very least.
Was this like a last minute prep?
Maybe.
It's also like
maybe
when you look at like popular movies, there's not a lot of siblings. It's usually like, if it's like a kid's movie, it's like one kid alone and his friends.
Yeah. I had when the prompt came up, I guess we'll kind of get into it. Unless you want to go first, Kristy.
There's no rules. You have at it, Jake. Unless you
Fair
take
enough.
And
well, when the prompt came up, like immediately the first a lot of what came to my mind were twins in film. I think twins are very much an inherently cinematic thing because you don't really see a lot of them in real life, but twins are all over movies. But like the first example of just memorable siblings or good siblings are Beverly and Elliot Mantle from a little film called Dead Ringers, directed by David Cronenberg. They are both played by Jeremy Irons. It's a pair of renowned gynecologists. They have this practice where one of them is kind of like the bolder of the two. He meets women and sleeps with them, and then when he gets tired of them, he passes them on to his twin partner, and the women have no idea they've swapped. And the quieter one kind of becomes more depressed, and he slowly starts to take a lot of drugs and lose his mind throughout the course of the film. And he does a lot of let's just say grotesque things involving their medical practice. Bailey's nodding her head. So if you've seen Dead Ringers, you know, and it's David Cronenberg, I'm sure that'll tell you more than you want to imagine. But what's really remarkable about it is Jeremy Irons' performance is exceptional. He is very good at articulating both characters completely differently, just with the nuance of his performance. And really, if it's a film I should revisit. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's always just stuck with me as one of the higher points of Cronenberg's career. So if you have not seen it, brace yourself before you do. But Dead Ringers is it's fascinating. I highly recommend it. Has everyone here seen it?
I have. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I watched it for Spooktober last year, and I need to rewatch it because a lot of it didn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the editing I feel like it was really hard to tell the time frame because but it was a really cool looking movie, and I really love Jeremy Irons. Like he's my favorite part of the DCEU as far as the men go.
You're an Alfred fan?
I love him as Alfred.
So you must have loved that he had more scenes.
I haven't seen the Snyder Cut. I don't really have a way to watch it, I guess. Yeah. But eventually I will. But oh God. But he's fantastic. And the whole like story is so grotesque, even without like the weird
instruments
mechanic. He like the whole premise is very like, oh my God. It's very Cronenberg. Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it because I felt very let down when I first saw it.
Yeah. It's also, I think, one of the first films that uses like a motion controlled camera to film sequences. So that way, rather than just have Jeremy Irons film on one side and film on the other, like they can actually like walk through the apartment with him walking as both brothers. So it's also just a fantastic technical achievement as well. But yeah, that's a cheery film to kick off this discussion.
It's weird. Twins should have been an obvious thing that I thought of, and for some reason I didn't. Like I wasn't thinking of twins at all, which is just strange. And now I'm starting to like go through my head and try to think of movies with twins. But I'll just throw one out. So I immediately thought of Kenneth Lonergan's "You Can Count on Me." I love that movie, and I think the relationship with Mark Ruffalo and Laura Linney is just, I don't know, one of my favorite on screen sibling. And it's something that it's a movie I haven't watched in a while now, but it's a really beautiful drama. If anyone hasn't seen it, I mean, you should. I'm assuming everyone here has. Yeah. And Mark Ruffalo's the younger brother. He comes back into town. Laura Linney's a single mother, and their relationship is just it's a really interesting one. Their dynamic, as far as he's kind of, I don't want to say like the black sheep of the family, but I guess that would be a good term for that. And he has a really good bond with her son, and yeah, it's just a wonderful film. So it's a little bit cheerier than Dead Ringer. So I guess that's a step up in the mood direction. If someone else wants to throw one out, because I've got like a whole list, and I'm trying to think of twins. So
it's one I'll say that it has just a great like Mark Ruffalo performance. Like I watched that movie after just kind of watching a series of duds, and then I saw You Can Count on Me for the first time, and his performance, like I was just really excited and engaged with him because he's just so good in it. So yeah, I would back that movie as well.
Yeah, the performances are awesome. It's really what carries that film, I think.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I'm writing it down now.
Right on.
Well, I've got a documentary actually to throw out. It's called Brothers Keeper. It's about four brothers who are farmers. They are largely illiterate. And when we pick up the story, they're kind of in their, I think, late 50s to 60s. And really only anyone ever heard of them because one of the brothers ended up dying overnight, and there's some mystery as to how he died. Some people think it was from natural causes, and then this whole city prosecutor's office came in and said, no, one of the brothers killed him. So the whole documentary ostensibly is kind of a true crime one, but it is actually more about kind of the city versus rural life and who takes advantage of who, and how the media comes in and takes advantage of people who perhaps do not understand the system. It's from the same people who did the Paradise Lost movies. It's actually, I think they're maybe just previous to this where they kind of broke out. It is a really fascinating movie just about the, I guess, three remaining brothers at that point and how they have to suddenly interact with a world that suddenly got much bigger on them.
I've not seen that, but I want to.
That sounds amazing.
Makes me think of also just documentaries, Three Identical Strangers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys have siblings at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Two younger sisters. One passed, but yeah.
Yeah, I have many siblings, and there's a movie that it's a Japanese animated movie called Wolf Children. Do you guys know it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So Jake, those two little wolf children, that's me and my little brother, literally. And it's an amazing movie. It's very sad. And the whole premise is this woman meets this mysterious, sexy guy, and he turns out to be like a lichen, like not necessarily a werewolf, but he turns into a wolf. He can transform from a wolf to a human. They fall in love. I don't think they get married, but they have two kids. And he, as the kid, they're basically like puppy children. And he gets killed horribly. And that was the most like traumatizing thing to see what happens to him after he dies, because he's in wolf form. But then this poor woman has to raise these two puppy children, like, and she has no idea what to do. And the dynamic between the two kids is like exactly like me and my little brother. And it's very like volatile and violent, but like there's a lot of like camaraderie and like just exploring like the woods and being like really feral and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful like look at like a really small, very isolated family unit. And I want to watch it again eventually, but it is very like, oh God, I better not be fighting with my brother this week when I watch this. I'll cry.
That was on the list I think you sent me of movies to watch. That were in.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta get on that.
It's
There's
There's
very
quite
good.
a few.
It's also because like they're half wolf, half human. The I believe the girl is she the older of the two?
Yeah.
I think she's the one who's kind of wants to be acclimated to society, so she kind of embraces the more human side. But the conflict is that her younger brother wants to be a wolf and live in the wilderness. But yeah, it's a very beautifully made movie too. Just when I think of that movie, I just think of the scene where like winter comes and there's all the snow and they go run out in the snow for several minutes. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's totally amazing. And like, when they're really young, it's a complete opposite. She's super like a wolf, full wolf girl. And the little brother is like clinging to the mom, like total crybaby mama's boy. And once they kind of start to go to school and like she meets other kids and he becomes more withdrawn, it like switches. It's very true to like, not necessarily my siblings, but I feel like it's very true of like there is something where it's like kind of switches and you become like a different person, but like in conjunction with someone you've literally been raised with. It's an amazing movie, and it's by the studio that did like Your Name, I think, and they're like a really big animation studio here. They make really great movies.
That director, he's made a few good films too, like Summer Wars is really fun.
I own it. It's great.
The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is also good. Not that those are about siblings, but yeah, I would recommend each of those as well.
And then I think like, I mean, I'm sure you guys all had like The Godfather written down.
I did actually, yeah.
I considered it for a trivia question, but no. But of course, you know, who could forget America's Best Family?
Yeah.
What's the line about Fredo? Fredo was weak and stupid.
Basically, yeah, Fredo.
Yeah. And then like, and even with that movie too, like as things progress with the family, they switch roles in a way. Like Michael comes into his own. I still need to see part 3. My dad tells me not to, but I guess I feel like I really should.
I think it's worth seeing. I would not watch the re-edited cut that he released last year, which has some crazy title. I watched them to compare. It's called like The Godfather Coda: The Death of Michael Corleone or something instead of just The Godfather 3. But I would just watch the original Godfather 3. It is worth seeing. There's good stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Like part of my family is very Italian, so that movie is sacred. And it really like personally hurts my dad that the third movie is like in the world.
How many siblings do you have? You said you had a lot.
I have 2 older half siblings on my dad's side, an older half brother on my mom's side, and then my little brother is like my full sibling. And then my older siblings have like step siblings that I was raised with. Like, yeah.
Wow.
It's like literally like blended family. Yeah.
Right on. Well, if I can piggyback off of Wolf Children, because one I thought of is actually one I revisited recently for our Blind Spots.
My Neighbor Totoro. Yes, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I have Totoro.
I think Mei and Satsuki are like the best iteration of just older and younger sister, but still children that I've seen ever on a movie. Just even Mei she's like so cute and particular about everything she does, and it's kind of nice just to watch it and see her echo her older sister's footsteps with every move that she makes in the film. Miyazaki's just got such a wonderful way of like creating like how children like act and behave, which is really nice. So yeah, if you've never even heard of My Neighbor Totoro, I don't know, welcome to Earth. But yeah, it's a wonderful film.
What's funny is so like their names, Satsuki and Mei, it means the same thing in Japanese. It basically means like I don't remember what it means, but it's like some word, but
it means May.
Yeah, they both
the month.
Okay,
the
so
month
I'm
of May?
remembering right. I don't want to say, oh, it means the month of May, and then I'd be wrong. But yeah, Satsuki is like the word for May, and then May is also the word for May.
Yeah, Satsuki's super archaic.
Satsuki, if you didn't hear that, Satsuki is like archaic.
Oh, we can hear it.
Japanese.
Oh,
I
we can
love
hear
the
it.
commentary.
Bye.
Thank you, kind interloper.
May also means niece because May was modeled after Hayao Miyazaki's niece.
If you heard that.
Good to know. Hayao Miyazaki's niece, yeah.
Yeah, Mei Tooi is like niece and nephew in Japanese. But and he like modeled Mei after the niece, but also like they were modeled after him and his little brother. And like but he changed it to girls because it was too autobiographical if it were two boys. And I guess he couldn't handle that. Yeah. I especially love when they fight their little tizzy at the end of just May, like, you're so mean. It's like, yeah, that's
I'm not stupid, but her eyes are full of tears and she runs away. She's got the little ear of corn. Yeah.
And in the Disney dub, the Dakota Fanning sisters, Dakota and Elle Fanning play the kids, which I think is fantastic. And I have a friend who is also like an older sister, has a younger sister. She grew up with the Fox dub and she hates the Disney dub. And she's like, that's not me and my sister talking. That's not the real Satsuki and Mei. I think it's so cute how, like, if you have siblings and understand that, you glob onto like movies where you see that dynamic too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm someone who also grew up with the Fox dub, so some excitement just entered Emily's frame. But yeah, so I've not watched the Fanning version. I've only seen the Japanese version or the Fox dub, which was on rotation heavily in my house as a kid on VHS. So yeah, Totoro.
I thought of twins. So sorry.
Is it twins with Arnold and Danny?
Yes, exactly right. No, the Skeleton Twins with Bill Hader and the Craig Johnson film. Yeah, I love Bill Hader
too.
You did? Yay. Yeah, I love Bill Hader. I love Kristen Wiig. I think that they have such a good chemistry. Like, obviously, so much time spent together on like SNL, and I'm a huge SNL fan and stuff. But this is obviously a very dramatic film, but there's some great comedy to it as well. And I don't know why it didn't immediately pop up, because I actually rewatched it not that long ago, because there was like a video on Twitter of the part where he's singing. Well, they're mouthing the words to each other. That's it's a great scene. But yeah, it was
like a. Oh, sorry to interrupt. It was like a weirdly viral thing, because I think the caption somebody said is like, this is relationship goals, and everyone was replying, they're supposed to be siblings in the movie.
They're twins.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
I do remember. Yeah, I think I retweeted that this is something I actually do in real life. Even when that part comes on, it's like hard not to. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's a wonderful movie. It's obviously, like I said, very dramatic. It deals with some pretty heavy themes. They're both very, depressed twins, but it's a wonderful film, wonderful acting, and yeah, I'm just a big fan of them. So I think that they make very believable. So.
Yeah,
Good
I love
choice.
skeleton twins.
Sorry for taking one from you, Billy.
No, it's perfect. I came up with this theme, so I don't want to talk. I don't want to do a lot of talking because I am very excited.
You did come up with this theme. Very.
Yeah.
Do you have one you want to throw out, Emily?
Yeah, one that's kind of, I think, kind of similarly a comedy drama that's quite well known, like the Skeleton Twins. I have to throw out the Royal Tenenbaums, which is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. Yeah, kind of like Bailey Jo was saying, you get a lot of really family films when I tried to think about films with siblings. This is more of a, traditionally full family film, but the three siblings in there are just classic Wes Anderson weirdos, but they're so, I think what makes me love this movie more than a lot of other Wes Anderson movies is that they're just very, very loving towards all of their quirks, and they all just end up being kind of beautifully flawed people, all of them. And I love that Richie is a tennis player because I get all the tennis jokes when I first saw this movie as a early teenager, I was right in the middle of my big playing tennis years. So I enjoyed any movie that had actual relevant tennis references. And then I think you don't watch movies right if you don't kind of get choked up at the line that Chaz has that says, "It's been a rough year, Dad." Like, that's just a line that still makes me choke up. So I just love the Royal Tenenbaums a lot.
I do too. It's my favorite Wes Anderson movie as well.
I love Wes Anderson. I didn't even think of that movie for my list. So I'm like kind of having a head slapping moment here. But yeah, it was the first Wes I saw, and I just fell in love with his style. So yeah, and all three of them are like, Luke Wilson really brings it in that movie. He's fantastic, and you kind of just know him as like the lighthearted younger brother of Owen.
Not in that.
No. It's dark. Yeah, good choice.
He was also
never
in the
seen
Skeleton
it.
Twins, by the way.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah, he has the he wears those like individual toe shoes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and they're asking, are those comfortable? And he's like, yeah, I think so. Or something like that.
There's a great line. He said something like it's part shoe, part foot, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
it's like it starts as a shoe, but it really just sort of ends as a foot. Yeah.
Wilson is
I
terrific.
haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the Royal? Oh,
No, I know. I really love Wes Anderson, but I haven't had a lot of chances to like watch. It was like I watched Life Aquatic, and that was my favorite movie for years. I only wanted to watch that, and then Fantastic Mr. Fox, and then of course his latest one. I can't remember the name, but yeah, he's great. I just haven't seen it.
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs.
Oh, I own Isle of Dogs.
Grand Budapest.
Yeah, unfortunately, I own Isle of Dogs, but I haven't had a chance to watch Royal Tenenbaums. I will do that.
I love that you're using the cat.
Somebody animated a keyboard under that cat.
He keeps messing with my cable, so I'm like, I must control you.
I was just running.
It's not about control. It's a relationship. Oh yeah, go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
I was just running through his other films in my head, and one that does not get a lot of love is one I still really like, is the Darjeeling Limited, which is about three brothers. And I think every time they go somewhere, Owen Wilson just has this habit of ordering everything for his brothers, and they get really annoyed at him, and they're like, can you let us order our own food? And then they order the stuff that Owen Wilson says. So, I think just the way he kind of just commands everything they do is hilarious. There's this like great line where they're walking along this river and they see these little kids trying to cross it. Owen Wilson just goes, "Look at these assholes." And it's like just small children. They end up crashing and saving them, but it's just such a funny misplaced moment.
I still need to see that too. Dang. Ooh, it's so embarrassing.
Well, at least you
Um,
finally saw Jake's favorite movie.
Yes, I did. I very much enjoyed it.
That's right.
I think the last time we were here, you hadn't. So
Oh my God, progress. Yeah, which is Mulholland Drive.
That's
Fantastic. Oh yeah, we're talking about siblings.
Yeah. Anybody have any TV ones?
I do.
What you got?
Like Arrested Development. RIP Jessica Walters.
yes.
You know. I just watched a bunch of compilations on YouTube, and I forgot how great the show is. But yeah, I love the siblings on that show.
How did I not think of that?
It's kind of like
the same thing. I was like, oh, that was obvious.
Obvious, yeah.
it's kind of like the quintessential show about a family. I don't know if any other. I've never seen Modern Family, but like just as about grown siblings dealing with their parents' nonsense and their own kids. Yeah, it's really good. I've only seen, like, as much as I really enjoyed it, I've only ever saw the first two seasons of Arrested Development when they originally aired on Fox. I didn't see season 3 or the new ones they released on Netflix.
Yeah, I tried looking. Maybe it's just where I'm at, but like none of the Arrested Development stuff is on Netflix here. I was very disappointed because that's how I like rewatched them getting ready for like the new season. Yeah, it's a great show, and just thinking about like I don't care for Job, and then the whole thing with Buster, and who's the sister? What's her name?
Um,
Portia. No.
It's been a long time since I've actually watched it.
Portia.
Yeah, I can't think of
I might keep saying Lucille, but that's not right.
That's the mother.
Yeah.
She's the one that has the shirt that says slut. That's all that matters. Maybe's mom. But yeah, that's
Lindsay.
a great
Lindsay,
show.
yes.
Lindsay. That doesn't sound right.
It's so random that
sure.
Ron Howard narrates that too. It's just
yeah.
But I always love the at the end too, where they say like what's coming up. The parts at the end of the show, like, and it's like, I don't know, it's always ridiculous. I love it. But yeah, it's embarrassing I couldn't think of her name just then. But that's a great one. I feel like TV in general is usually about families, like, and yet I can't. Oh, The Sopranos, siblings. It's kind of.
That's like, I'm watching The Sopranos right now, and I didn't think of AJ and Meadow. They're you really kind of feel for AJ because he's just starts as a teen and he's just kind of trying to find his own way in this awful world that he's surrounded by.
He has some ups and downs. I mean, he goes through some phases. I mean, it's not easy. I would imagine being a soprano.
Yeah.
But yes, that's one of the best shows ever.
For sure.
I also wrote down. Have you guys seen Shameless?
Yes.
On Showtime? Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Not.
I mean, it's all about the sibling because they have like no actual parental figures, and the one they do have is an alcoholic mess played by Tracy.
The mom is like, I think she's bipolar and just absent.
Yeah,
but it's better that she's absent.
I don't know how far you've seen, so I won't put a spoiler out there for that, but yeah.
I got as far as like Fiona's no longer around.
Oh, okay. So then okay. So you know,
but it's been a couple years. Yeah, it's a great show, and yeah, it's like another great look at like just a big blended family of these kids.
Very eccentric and very crime-filled adventures that they do. Yeah, I know some people can't even watch that show because they feel like it makes them so uncomfortable. Like,
my husband can't.
Yeah.
Like The Office and Shameless, and there's like another show he like physically cannot.
Why The Office?
It's too cringy. Too cringy.
Yeah, okay.
He can't do cringe humor, but like so he gets so upset and so angry. Like it's like, okay, I'll watch this while you're at work.
But Shameless is like the R version of that. Like,
yeah.
Versus the Office, but.
See, I'm the weird person who's only seen the UK version of Shameless. I don't know why I just never.
That's funny. They're both shows that are UK and then US.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's
coming up
why
with
it's so
many,
hard for
connected
people to
things,
watch.
and we're not even noticing it. Yeah, right. Isn't
Is
the
the
UK with James McAvoy?
Yes, it's James McAvoy, and he leaves very quickly versus the US one, from what I can tell. His character is only there for like a season and a half, I think, in the UK.
is
one.
he like the boyfriend?
Yeah, he's boyfriend. It's just that character leaves really fast in their version. Versus, I think what I've gathered from the US is he stays around.
Kind of.
comes
He
in
like
and out.
kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
James McAvoy would have been great as that character in the US.
I feel like he'd be great at most things.
Yeah. Fact. Yeah.
Did he leave just because he became a movie star, or?
No, I think that's just how the story was going, and they just decided to say, okay, that relationship's over, and he was just gone.
Is that Orion?
No, it's Morrissey.
I thought I thought I heard a mew.
Yeah, he just came back from outside, and I can't see.
Good kitty.
There.
Hi, buddy.
The cats are just taking over.
Yeah.
Pretty soon Emily's
Yeah.
just gonna be like knocked out of her chair by her cat.
Gonna get
Oh yeah,
on.
and then I think I mentioned this show like a couple videos ago, but This Is Us. I don't think you guys have you guys seen it?
Saw a couple
I've
episodes.
seen
Heard
the
of it,
first
never
season,
seen it.
I think. Yeah.
It's a pretty good show. And it's literally all about these triplets as like adults, and like there's the whole show is premised on like all these different flashbacks when they're like toddlers,
What's wrong
when
with
they're
your
like
eye?
6, high school, and then them as adults, and they all are really messed up. And it's a very good show, and it does a really good job of like showing like how sometimes there's like cliques between a group of siblings, which is also a leading force of the great reality show Great Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because that's all about those siblings and the progression and regression of their relationships over the 20 seasons. I don't recommend watching the show, but
Yeah, I have it. I'm kind of happy to admit that. And hi Orion. Bye.
That was Orion. Yes.
Bye
He-
Morrissey. What's his eye looked like it was like
He literally just woke up from a nap.
Oh,
So
okay.
his eyes were a little
Okay.
crusty, but his eyes are doing really well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so is the rest of him. So he's great.
yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, that was Orion's moment of fame.
His debut?
Yes. Well,
No,
yeah.
he was on the last one. I think.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah,
his encore.
definitely. Yeah, exactly.
I think
His
so.
encore.
Cute.
His progress report. I
Keep me
thought of
updated.
one.
I'm very happy about it.
Definitely.
I need the Orion report. Yeah, like that.
The Orion report.
Dun dun dun.
Report.
Just going back to our topic, I thought of a TV one that they didn't really explore this dynamic so much because she's just they're all just part of the gang. But Dennis and Dee, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
In the early seasons, they have a lot of great like episodes that are just about those two together. I think that one of the best in the whole series is Dennis and Dee Go on Welfare, where
Yeah.
they decide to quit the bar and they want to be an actor and a veterinarian, but they find that real life is hard knocks, so they try to exploit the welfare system, but the
They
welfare
just become addicted to crack.
exactly well they can't get welfare because they don't have like proof that they were addicted to crack, so then they buy crack and just get addicted to it and they become crackheads. That's a great show.
My favorite like episode that shows like them together like really together is Chardy McDennis, where they do the board
Yeah.
game, and it's like, oh wow, okay, these two hate each other but they're twins, so they have that like united thing, and it's really spooky.
Yeah. There's just moments where they just go silent and they just stare at each other, and because they have that connection. Plus they're like champions at that game, right? Like Mac and Charlie just keep losing it every time they play
They've lost every game
because they smash.
And yeah, they smash their toys. It's a hard game to describe. That is just reminding me though of the
Here's
Belcher's
Orion.
kids.
He woke up.
On
Bye
Bob's
bye.
Burgers. Ah. Do you want to go? Bye-bye.
Yep.
Oh, he's so cute.
Are we sure cats aren't the topic today? Favorite.
Well, have we done that? Favorite cinematic
could do
pets?
Yeah, we could do that. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Well, that's our
Yes.
episode 18. I'm gonna call it right now.
Right now.
Yay.
Also Parks and Rec, the Ralphio twins.
Yes.
Oh man, Jenny Slate and Ben Schwartz. It's good for a laugh.
The two of them together.
I've got a pair of very close-knit but evil siblings from the TV show Carnival, which I think a lot of people missed.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a show on HBO that didn't quite hit. They spent a ton of money on it, though. It was a period show set during the 30s, so it's right in the middle of the Dust Bowl and the Depression. And the whole concept of the show is that there's a battle between light and darkness, and there's one person that has special powers that's evil and one person that has special powers that's on the side of good, and then they're in constant battle. So on the bad side, you have Justin and his sister Iris, and they are as tight-knit and as ferociously evil as pretty much you're ever going to get. Pretty great.
That's a great show. I just discovered it for the first time a couple of years ago. I'd always heard of it, but yeah, it's kind of sad that because it really just leaves you hanging there. But yeah, I'll
They should make an end.
thumbs up for Carnival. I would love that, like Deadwood. Deadwood got a movie 10 years later. Give Carnival the 2-hour movie.
Maybe this is going to do it right here.
we got to just put it into the ether. I mean, everyone's clamoring for the Carnival movie.
Duvall is interested. She's always said that she wants to keep doing that. Probably because the show was just turning to be about her.
She's great in that show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard, we got interrupted by a cat, by little Ryan. The Bob's Burgers. Have you guys watched that?
Yes. Well, I've seen a couple episodes.
Those Belcher kids are amazing. I think like in the last 10 years, I think that's like the best like family comedy show. It's fantastic, and the way the kids are together, like with Louise, the youngest, being like the leader, and then Jean being perfect and Tina being awkward. Like, it's a great show, and I love like the kids together. Womb to the tomb, baby.
You also say The Simpsons or Family Guy too.
Not Family Guy.
I mean, not even like The Simpsons now, at least. Just like the first 10 seasons are the good ones.
But we can relate to them now because Homer grew up in the 90s. He's a millennial now. I mean,
I could relate I could relate to Bart growing up because I was the eldest I had two younger sisters, and so like as a kid with spiky blonde hair and who could occasionally ride on a skateboard, I saw a lot of myself in Bart Simpson. But yeah.
I love like Maggie gets ignored a lot, which makes the episodes that focus on her even better. But I love all the things where she like idolizes Lisa, like when they're like, oh, she's a genius. It's like, oh, she kind of is, but she's more just copying Lisa. And then Bart and Lisa, like Lisa's first word was Bart. That's so cute.
I thought it was Daddy.
I thought it was Bart. Maybe they changed it.
Because there's that one where like Homer's putting her to bed in her crib, and he says like, the sooner kids talk, the sooner they talk back. So let's hope you don't speak forever. And he leaves the room, and she takes out her pacifier, and she goes, "Daddy," and then she puts her pacifier back and goes.
That's Maggie.
Oh, did you say Lisa?
Lisa.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were talking about Maggie. I
did, and I switched. That's my bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy The Simpsons. And Maggie's definitely like my favorite, like, of them. Like, I love them.
Yeah.
Are there any more movies you guys have?
I think there's quite a few. There's a lot of ones like with female, like Little Women and Pride and Prejudice and Sensibility that have some really like some really interesting female like sister, especially Little Women. I love the sisters relationships in that, and that's in all, I suppose, examples of that on screen, which are many. I don't even know if I've seen all of them, but that also could be said for Pride and Prejudice as well. I think the siblings are interesting dynamics there as well.
I think my favorite of like those three with like sisters is Sense and Sensibility. I never read the book, but I watched the Ang Lee movie just on a whim, and now it's like it's one of my go-tos. Like I'm kind of having a bad day, I don't know what to watch, and I put that on. I love the way the sisters all like talk to each other, and like it's super sweet. It's a great
It's a feel-good movie, even if, I mean, yeah, no, I feel the same way. And Emma Thompson's so good in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Key
And just her being like the sensible one. And wait, is she Sense or is she Sensibility?
Those are their names?
Yeah.
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Which one's dumb? Which one's dumber?
Totally.
Which one is dumb and which one is dumber?
I'd say Jim
Lloyd
Carrey's
is dumber.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey is the dumber one.
Right.
Totally. No questions. But no, I really love the Emma Thompson character, how she's kind of like a mother. Like she's the oldest, so she acts like as a mother to the other ones. And she literally calls Kate Winslet, like, what does she call her? It's like a super sweet like term of endearment that usually like a mother calls like their child. And it's like not darling, but it's like it's really sweet. And I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Like the age difference between me and my sister is like exactly 10 years. Like exactly. And it's like we never really lived together growing up. So I'm always really gravitating towards movies of like tight-knit sisters, because I never grew up with that. Mm-hmm. But I had that, but not really. So I really love that in Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, and then to be depressing, we could say Virgin Suicides. They're
I still need to see that.
All right, Bailey, bye.
I have a bit of a cheat. But I want to throw out Mistress America, because while they're technically almost sisters, their parents are about to get married in the movie, but the whole dynamic of the younger sister, quote unquote, with Lola Kirk moving to New York for college, and then meeting for the first time her now older sister, played by Greta Gerwig. The dynamic there always struck me as very true to a younger sibling to an older sibling, in that she both idolizes Greta Gerwig and completely calls her on all of her BS. And I just love that dynamic so much.
I mean, I love that movie, and any if you have any chance to recommend Mistress America for any prompt, yeah, I would say do so. That's a good choice. To go back to like a more, I guess, nuclear family, I guess you could say, and to kind of go Amblin for a second, but like one about kids behaving as kids is the three kids in E.T. Elliot and his older brother and his younger sister. I mean, that's another one where kind of like My Neighbor Totoro, where it's children behaving at their age levels. Like the older brother's kind of bullyish. Did you just do the finger?
Yeah.
Well, E.T.'s right behind her.
I know. I was doing a double thing.
Ouch.
Crocodiles in the sewer. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, Drew Barrymore is great as I think her name's Gertie in the movie. She's, like just her with her interactions with E.T. are really funny. But yeah, that's another one where I think that's probably the best instance of children in a Spielberg film. I'm not, unless there's one else, but it's the first one that comes to my mind.
I mean, Jurassic Park, the kids do a pretty good job.
Well, okay. Well, controversy time. I don't like the kids in that movie. I prefer The Lost World, to be honest. The sequel.
Oh, this again.
For the Velociraptors?
I was exactly that, or just the hill that they fall down.
You cheer them on when they're coming in the kitchen.
Yeah.
isn't that the wildest thing? People like to like shit on Lost World, like, oh, it's so ridiculous. The little girl is a gymnast and she kicks the velociraptor. It's like they built an entire cliff in 2 seconds for this stupid scene. Like,
That
really?
kick is awesome.
Yeah. I've been
But
in
it's not-
many
it's not better
arguments
than
about
the
that.
first
And then it's got Jeff Goldblum's line. They cut you from the team?
So good. I just rewatched those and they're fantastic. I do like the kids in that though. I like the kids in all the movies.
There's a couple lines in the first one that are a little, but I do like them. I mean, they're just so central to the story. So
Yeah.
You gotta have kids in a Jurassic Park movie. I don't like the two brothers in Jurassic World though. Like, so lame. Like,
Yeah.
not a great way to write brothers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
no. Two brothers.
Ooh, What's Eating Gilbert Grape has an interesting sibling.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good
I love
one.
that movie.
I know.
Mm.
Good old
Oh,
Last
wait.
Hallstrom.
Yes.
Where there's like Sense and Sensibility of like, oh, these sisters, they love each other, sometimes they fight. There's the opposite of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Have you guys seen that?
I have not. It's on my list.
Whoa. I watched that for the first time like a year or two ago, and it is skyrocketed to like one of my favorite movies. And what's funny is I obviously like only knew about it through like osmosis, and for years the only reference I ever had to it until they parodied it on Drag Race was on The Simpsons. Where Lisa gets jealous that Maggie's becoming a genius and pushes her down the stairs in her little wheelchair. But that, Jake, you're really missing out. It's so good.
Yeah.
I will. I'll bump it up on my priorities.
Yeah.
I've always been meaning to see it, but yeah, thanks for the.
For enough time for all the movies. Another one that we did on our podcast was Your Sister's Sister, Lynn Shelton film.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that one's a good one as well, with Emily Blunt and Rosemarie DeWitt.
Mm-hmm.
The sisters, with Mark
And
Duplass
what's the
getting
name
in the
of the
middle.
podcast?
Blind Spots.
Blind Spots.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're
Go
actually
listen to Blind
asking.
Spots.
It's like, do you know what it's called, right? you are paying
For the audience.
No, I know. Yes, we have a podcast called Blind Spots where we watch movies that we we recommend to each other that the other person has not seen. Yes.
Yeah. And we have depending on, I don't know when this, I guess we'll have a new episode out soon around the
Like
release
the day after
Roundtable.
this.
Yeah. So check your feeds tomorrow for our new Blind Spots.
Plug.
Little tease, yeah.
How about Luke and Leia? Throw out like a very well known. It's a little weird once you know.
Think they were always intended to be siblings, though?
Who cares? It's great. Like, I will say this now, I'm not a big fan of incest, but like, they didn't know. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, the
But, like,
commentary right there.
There's that disembodied voice again.
Who is that? Yeah, no, I do not come in here.
You stay disembodied.
I'm muting.
You heard what he said, was just like, what the fuck? I'm saying this now. I'm not a big fan of incest. Made him apparently perk up.
I watched a movie recently where I won't reveal what it is because it's kind of a spoiler, but like there's a reveal at the end of the movie, which is it's incestuous in nature, which you don't see coming. But I won't say what it is.
Speaking of incest and siblings, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, the dynamic between the three of them is pretty interesting. I mean, taking out the incestual part, like with Peter Dinklage.
Lannisters, right?
Yeah.
Right. Nobody mentioned the Star Children. If you want to go for the more wholesome.
Yes, the more wholesome. Well, they are really like the show, right?
They are, but like they kind of just after season 1, they just all scatter to different parts of the world. So there's not really a dynamic. You just kind of see, oh, this one's doing this. Bran is
And
No, and
being
every time they
boring.
get reunited in the show is like some of the like most like happiest moments. Because so
and
many
a
people
bunch of them are
die.
dead now.
There's 3 of them left, I think.
Well,
Even-
in the books, Rob is dead.
Right.
Right?
And I don't think the other ones are dead yet in the book. Well, John just died at the very end of the last book that was written, what, 15 years ago?
Yeah,
10
no,
years ago?
John's alive.
Amazing.
So there's technically 4, but John's technically not.
He's
brother?
he's not a
Am
brother.
I spoiling? Damn it. Sorry, guys. For anyone out there that doesn't know these things already. I feel like even if you don't watch that show, you are probably have been spoiled many, many times. But if not, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kristy,
yeah.
you mentioned Rosemary the Wit a minute ago, and that immediately reminded me of Rachel getting married, and I'm mad I didn't have that on my list right off the bat, because that is such a good sibling relationship there between her
Yeah.
and Anne Hathaway's character.
Yeah, it's very good. That's a very good one.
I need to see that. I meant to like
Ooh.
right after Jonathan Demme passed, and I still haven't. If you want to make it a blind spots candidate,
Yeah, that's why I just went, ooh. Yeah.
I'll put it on our
It's a really
our
good one.
short list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Tombstone?
Yes.
I have.
That's a great one about like 3 brothers. They're all very different. And they have like different ideals of like kind of law and justice and stuff. And like, it's a fantastic movie. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's just the Earp brothers. And I personally, I love Virgil. Virgil's great. The oldest, the one who like gets shot up and loses his the use of his arm. Yeah, great movie. If Emily, you said you didn't see it.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's great. And it was the first movie where like I saw like a man kiss another man, because one of the brothers dies and he kisses him and I was like, what? Why is he kissing him? And my brother was like, oh, because his brother died. He's sad. I'm like, okay, wow, I'm learning so many new things. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic like sibling movie, because that's what it's all about, really.
Legends of the Fall. Interesting.
Yes. That's of brothers like being torn apart, by jealousy and a woman
Yes.
and war.
The way you said that's so dramatic. Women and war.
That movie's so dramatic. That's also a great movie. Gave us cowboy Brad Pitt.
Yes.
That's not a
It's like Wild Man Brad Pitt.
Is he a prostitute in Thelma and Louise?
He's a thief. I mean,
He's just kind of
he's just kind of a con artist, I
a
think.
charismatic drifter or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. He wears a cowboy hat, but in Legends of the Fall, he's
And
a
not much
cowboy.
else.
Nice. But yeah, that's
Well, do we have any others we want to mention, or should we get into trivia?
Oh, have you seen Seven Beauties by Lena Wertmuller?
No, I haven't.
Oh, so she was the first woman to ever be nominated for Best Director in the 70s, and that was the movie, and that was also nominated for Best Picture. It's I think it's like technically Italian, but it was like that era where everything was like dubbed automatically. And it's very dark, extremely dark, but it's like kind of funny. But the whole premise is there's this man in Napoli, and he all he does is like he like cons people out of money. He's like a grifter, and he protects the honor of his 7 sisters, who are all very ugly, and everyone calls them the 7 beauties. And he goes to jail because he kills a man who tries to turn one of his sisters into a prostitute. And it's a long journey, and he's like very misogynistic. He's horrible, like a real protagonist you do not want to like. But the whole thing is, his whole worldview is like, I need to protect the honor of my sisters. And he's very like misogynistic. He eventually comes home and all of his sisters, including his mother, have become like prostitutes. And it's a total like joke on him. It's a great, great movie. And it has one of the best like opening like voiceovers ever. It's so fantastic. And she does really cool movies. I really highly recommend. But there is some trigger warnings in the movie, I will say.
Is this a prequel to Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
I don't know, but I don't know.
I'll throw out Before the Devil Knows You're Dead and Animal Kingdom, even though the siblings, it's not just the siblings, it's a family dynamic more that's fascinating. That one, but
I love that. I love that movie, and I love the actors in that other movie. Which is which? No, I think those are both good. Animal Kingdom was one of my favorites of that year, and I mean, if Philip Seymour Hoffman, isn't he in? I've never seen it, but isn't Savages a sibling movie? Him and his sister.
Him and Laura Linney. That's another one I actually wrote down. Yes,
I need to see that.
Great.
Great. Is right.
Also, the Fighter with Christian Bale and Marky Mark.
And Warrior, if anyone's seen it.
That's
right.
The Fighter is a fantastic movie. Like, and then again, there's like the gaggle of sisters in that.
Oh yeah,
Amy Adams gets into it.
Yeah. I love that movie. That was one of the first movies I ever wrote a review of, actually. Like,
excellent.
Memories. But before we go, I will kill myself if I don't say the Chipmunk Adventure. If you haven't seen it, it's where the chipmunks and the chipettes race around the world in hot air balloons, and the chipettes have a very beautiful song about how much they miss their mother, which they live with the lady, but she's not their mom. But whatever. That's a super fun. That's probably the best Chipmunk movie.
You mean Dave's not the biological father of those chipmunks?
The chipettes?
No, Halvin, Simon, and Theodore.
No.
I was making a joke.
The chipettes sing a song about mothers because they have a little baby penguin that's lost. They want to take the baby penguin. They're in Egypt, and one of them's gonna be married off to a prince. He gives them a penguin as a gift, and like, we gotta get this penguin home. They escape and go to Antarctica to find the penguin's mother. They sing a song about mothers. But no, it's super fun, super fun movie. And I think that also looks at like the boys and their whole thing of being brothers and the girls being sisters. Yeah, very fun.
Haven't heard of it, but penguins would make an awesome gift. Frozen is a good sisters, and also if we're going by Rob Zombie, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. I mean, that's like the happiest like brother sister dynamic that I know of. So it's a good way to.
I wanted to mention that, and I was like, but you don't really get that in the original movie.
Well, in the original, they're not
later,
actually, right? Or they change it like in the way
they are siblings.
Halloween 2 says that they are. The first Halloween does not.
Right.
And then 4 and 5 are all about his niece and him having like a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones is like him and Laurie battling it out. But they're, But I think the Rob Zombie movies do a really good job of like playing.
Yeah, they make that very, very clear right from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the first 90 seconds of Halloween is like the first 45 minutes of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I ain't mad about it.
Right on. Well, is it trivia time? Are we all ready to go? Okay. All right. You three have played before, but for our listeners, I will read the rules. I will ask 10 film and TV related questions to the group. The first person to say the correct answer out loud will earn a point. The person with the most points at the end of the game wins. In the event that there's a tiebreaker will become available. Are there any questions? All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which film was Lindsay Lohan's debut?
Parent Trap.
Correct.
I just thought that was going to come up in trivia. So.
Hey, it wasn't life size.
No, that was after.
I when I watched Dead Ringers, I was like, Lindsay Lohan did this better.
Well, that brings me to my next question. Who played the twins in the 1961 Parent Trap?
Haley Mills? No.
Correct.
Oh.
Wow. All right. So for those of you who want to go to somebody for all your Parent Trap trivia needs, Kristy
Yeah.
Strouse is the person to see. Congratulations. All right.
Queen.
Question number 3. What are Phil and Lil's last name?
I don't know.
Your hint is that it rhymes with their first name.
Bill.
No,
Hill.
it is not Phil and Lil, Hill or Bill. It's got 2 syllables.
Miller.
No,
Were you kidding?
I'm not kidding. The second
Oh.
part of it rhymes with their first name.
Colville.
No,
I don't know.
Just give it.
and no. Okay, it's DeVille. Phil and Lil DeVille.
That's right.
Sorry, Bailey.
Dang.
She was just gonna keep. We were just gonna keep throwing them out. Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a. Oh well, I've got 9
Well,
questions.
we're getting
10
the
if you count
DeVille origin story soon, right?
That's exactly right. All right, question number 4. What kind of program were the twins in The Matrix Reloaded?
Hmm.
They're a program based off of a supernatural thing.
Ghost.
Correct. They're exiled ghost programs, which is why
They can float through things.
they can become transparent and float through things and fly and stuff. All right.
It's a badass scene.
Yeah. Question number 5. I don't have a question 4. I don't know what happened. So I did rush this. I'm sorry to say. Actually, oh shoot, no, I do have a question. No, that was question 4. I don't have a question 5. This is question number 6. In the film Twins, how many fathers did Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito have?
1.
No.
2.
No. They were a scientific
None.
experiment that had
None.
multiple fathers.
3.
No.
15.
Why are we doing numbers?
5,
5.
No.
6.
Euro?
Correct.
Oh.
6 is correct.
We're gonna get there eventually if we just keep throwing them.
All right. You love numbers, right? Question number 7. How many children make up the Von Trapp clan in Sound of Music?
6.
No.
7.
7.
Correct. Emily got it. It is 7. Now,
My
if you
mom
notice,
will be so proud of me.
question number 6, the answer was 6. Question number 7, the answer was 7. Question number 8.
Ooh. You put too much time into thinking about that to finish them.
Question number 8 is just to, and this can go to as many points for everyone. It's kind of a multi-answer question. Question number 8 is name as many Weasley children as you can.
Ron.
Ron,
Okay.
Jenny.
No. George, Fred, Percy,
Yep.
Bill.
Nice.
No,
Yeah, it is
is
Bill.
it Percy?
It's Percy,
Charlie.
Bill. No, it's.
So-
no.
And there's Charlie.
Got this. I never
And
read
there's
the
Fred,
book.
George.
I saw only a few of the movies.
And-
Jenny.
Jenny. I was thinking Lily, and it's like, no, that's the mom's name.
Oh, it's
So
Jenny.
Kristy got a point for Ginny, and then Bailey
And
Jo got a
also
point
Fred.
for the other. Oh, you got Fred. Okay. And that's
Or one of
that.
them. I got one of the twins. I don't remember which. We've said so many names.
I think I said George.
Yeah.
You said Fred and George. Actually, you said them all, Bailey, except for Ginny, which Kristy said. So if you want to know the current points, is Bailey Jo has 5, Kristy has 6. Emily, you got 1 point. That's awesome. It's still anybody's game at this point. All right. Question number 8. All right, this one's kind of worded weirdly. Forgive me. What is distinct about the Grady sisters in The Shining that is different than actresses Louise and Lisa Burns who played them?
He really phoned in this question.
What? What? Well, one
What
is a
is-
little
Well,
taller.
they aren't actually twins, right? in the story. Are they twins?
They're
Correct.
They're
Yes.
like Irish twins.
Yeah, but
Well-
everyone
well-
assumes in the Shining movie that they're twins, but they're not. They're
Yeah.
actually different.
Yeah.
They-
Well, the actresses are twins. The characters in The Shining are not supposed to be twins. So, correct, Kristy. Good job. No, I know I can't fail you now on Parent Trap and Stephen King trivia.
I don't even know.
Brilliant.
I honestly just knew you were going to do a Parent Trap thing, so I was like, I'm going to look up the original Parent Trap before I swear.
Wow, the truth comes out.
Well, for that one, and Lindsay Lohan, I just like,
Wow.
I assumed that was her first role. I didn't know it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's so good in that.
Yeah.
She is
For
good.
her
in that.
flowers.
All right. Question number 10. What is the name of Charlie Babbitt's older brother?
Who's Charlie Babbitt?
Who indeed? Nobody knows. I'll give out the hint of who that is.
Raymond. Oh, Charlie Babbitt. Raymond. Yeah, it's
Correct.
that's another one I almost thought of.
Charlie Babbitt is
my
Tom
God.
Cruise in Rain Man.
Yeah.
Who, when he was a baby, called his brother Raymond Rain Man.
Yes.
Now you know the title. All right.
I've never seen it.
Well,
You've never seen
Kristy-
Rain Man? Wow.
No, I don't really enjoy Tom Cruise.
That's that's an awesome. I don't really enjoy Tom Cruise.
That's fair.
He's
fair.
the reason he's the reason I don't give Eyes Wide Shut a full 5 stars on my Letterboxd account.
Ooh, really? I think he's good in that.
He's good, but I don't like him.
Well, do we want to hear the tiebreaker for
Yeah.
more points? All right. The tiebreaker. Name the 4 children who go to Narnia.
Mary? Nope. I don't know.
Peter, Lucy. You
have two.
Loki?
Peter and Lucy. Did you say Smokey?
Loki, the goth kid
Oh,
is
that's a
Loki.
good one, by the way. Thor and Loki siblings. Anyway,
Got any, Emily?
Nope, haven't read those books in probably 15 years.
There's one you have not named who's kind of like the problematic child. He's the one who kind of
Takes the
breaks
candy?
off. Yeah, well, he breaks off from the group, meets the
That's
queen.
Loki.
Yes, that's right. He gets corrupted by her power. No, that one is
Edmund?
Edmund.
Oh,
Yeah.
Unfortunate name for a
Edmund.
kid.
And the other sister is Susan.
Susan.
Yeah. And their last name is, do you know their last name?
Narnia.
Yes, that's right.
Tumnus.
Oh, Tumnus, James McAvoy. See, we're coming around.
Yeah.
They are. We brought it back. He quit that show to be Mr. Tumnus in the movie.
I would.
Their last name was Pevenice, if you're wondering.
Jeez,
Yeah.
how often do they say that in that movie?
Exactly. I didn't
had
even know
no
they had
idea.
I had to look it up.
I didn't think they had.
Yeah.
I really think it's Narnia, but that's okay.
Well, that was it. Kristy's spy work.
No,
How's
actually,
your-
I was just looking up things that had siblings, and I saw the Parent Trap earlier today. So
You are our trivia champion for this round.
whole list, and it's on there. But thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah. But thanks for playing, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that at home as much as we enjoyed it here.
Yeah. So that concludes the sibling roundtable, and thanks for everyone for coming and for playing Jake's trivia and having awesome movies and TV. I already wrote down several that you talked about, which is always awesome. I love coming away with recommendations. And anyone watching, thank you for watching us for almost a year. Yay. And I hope everyone's happy, healthy, hopefully getting vaccinated, and yeah, have a great evening, morning, day thing.
Ouch.
We'll be right here.